Okay everyone, and now an introduction to experimental documentary, but first a brief history on how documentary started as a whole. In 1877, Eadweard Muybridge develops a sequential photographs of horse in motion. In 1882, Mary's chronophotographic gun was made. This instrument was capable of taking 12 constructive frames a second, and the most interesting part is that they were all recorded onto the same picture. In 1883, Eileen Murray experiments with chronophotography, photograph of people in movement. In 1895, Auguste and Thingy staged the world's first public film screening on December 28, 1985, in the basement lounge of a Grand Cafe in Paris. It is believed that the first ever motion picture was actually recorded in the same year, with Leon Bowley's cinematograph device. In 1914, photographer Edward Curtis films In the Land of the War Canoes, an outed dramatization using native actors, and it was originally titled In the Land of the Headhunters. It's considered a flawed documentary. With the melodrama, it does depict accurate representations and aspects of their cultural art and technology. In 1919, Russian filmmaker Dziga Vertov calls for a new style of cinema that documents real life. He insists that the future cinema depends on reporting the truth, and in 1922 he begins to produce Film Truth, a series of news reportage films that foreshadow both later newsreels and later documentary styles, including cinema verite. Now, during the 1920s, various European experimental filmmakers began to work in styles that incorporate avant-garde techniques, fluent camera work and montages, things that we see today a lot. But back then it was new. And also abstract narratives to create impressionistic, highly poetic quasi-documentary works. And some of these films include Walther Ruttmann's Berlin, A Symphony of a Great City, 1927. And 1926, Alberto Cavalcanti's Reincas las Heres. Taking a step back, in 1922, Robert Flaherty films Nanook of the North, and it is generally considered to be the first feature-length documentary. This film employs many of the conventions of later documentaries, including third-person narration and a subjective tone. It also focuses on one person as the film's hero. In 1925, Sergei Eisenstein films Battleship Potemkin, a fictional recording of an uprising against the Tsars that combines documentary elements with experimental editing and narrative techniques. And in 2007, a brick stop-motion video was created to pay homage to Battleship Potemkin. It is called The Star Destroyer Potemkin. And then taking a step back again, in 1926, John Grierson, a young Scottish academic, writes a review of Robert Flaherty's film Moana of the New York Sun on February the 8th. In this review, he coins the term documentary. 1928, Dziga Vertov again films The Man with the Movie Camera. This film uses experimental editing techniques and innovations to portray a typical day of Moscow from dawn to dusk. He aimed to capture life caught unaware. This was experimental in many ways, many different camera angles, and also adding many effects. For example, filming on the floor, filming from different weird angles, and using composite techniques, creating, for example, the man standing on his camera or appearing in different weird locations.